Folks, it is good to see you all. We've already got some people in the chat. That is fantastic. Before we dive right into things and we break down this PFL card, I wanted to say that this stream is brought to you by CloudBet. Watch the PFL World Tournament live and free on cloudbet.com and use the promo code 138MMA if you are placing any action on the fights. Guys, we've got a stacked card of 9 fights here for this PFL fight card, and I would like to say that I think it's actually a decent card, just short, you know. I'm not sad about it. It's okay. I kind of like these short PFL cards because their pacing can be a little bit rough anyway. So Pickem, what do you think about this card?
This card is actually pretty good for heavyweight and light heavyweight and middleweight. So we're gonna see who's gonna make it to the finals. Fabian coming off that absolute destruction over Impact Sangane, which I didn't really. I mean, I kind of expected him to win by decision if he did win that fight, but him just going out there starching Impa like that. After everything Impa has done in the PFL for the last couple of years, because like at one point he's almost like the face of PFL for the past couple of years because he's been fighting so much, so often, and now Fabian to go out there and do that to Impa was very impressive. And we also got Phil Davis. I was gonna say Mike Davis, right? But his name's actually Phil Davis. We got Phil Davis coming back after that. I mean, crazy KO. I did not expect that KO, him knocking out Wilkinson was not on my bingo card. So I believe he's making a quick turnaround. So we'll see how he does.
I think I did pick Phil Davis to win. I didn't pick him to knock him out, though. That's for sure. I don't think a lot of people expected him to knock him out on the feet, which is very impressive. And obviously, he goes out there and wrestles, which is normally his game plan. Yeah. But so he's gonna be taking on Sullivan Colley. So it should be a good co-main event there. We also got Dalton Rosta running it back with Jeffrey. Mm-hmm. We'll see how that one goes for either guy. Yeah, it's pretty good card. I like the main card over the prelims more. Yeah. There's no like throwaway fights though, really. So that's kind of nice. There's no just there's no who is this guy kind of. I guess the Walsh fight, but like I mean. That's to be expected.
Yeah, I did some research on that guy, and he's only got like one fight in the last couple of years. I'm not even sure where they find these people at. Like, where are they finding these guys at for
they gotta find somebody
Muhammad Ali's grandson?
Have Ali's grandson beat up on. But let's check with the chat real quick. We got Eric here. He's hoping that neither of us get cuffed on screen like Dumas. You know what? I hope I don't get cuffed on screen as well.
That would be pretty embarrassing.
As always. Just kidding. I'm just getting there. Mind Freak
have you seen his mug shots, bro? Like he's got so many mug shots. Dumas.
Yeah, that's rough, dude. Like 18 times being arrested.
18? I thought you said 8.
Go into this card, dude. If so, drop it in the chat. Let me know. I think you might actually have said that on another stream. I can't remember now. I got a cat trying to mess with.
This card is actually taking place in Chicago, so if you're in Chicago, probably worth going and watching this card live because the tickets aren't even that expensive compared to the UFC. Like 25. I think the floor seats are probably like $45 from what I heard.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. And like PFL's been doing this thing where they try to just go wherever the UFC is going to go, but just a little bit earlier, which is kind of funny.
Because you got all those MMA fans, right? Like in town, so they're trying to capitalize on that.
Yeah, they were talking about how like UFC Africa and PFL is like, we're going to do it just a little before, or they'll be like, when PFL or when the UFC was going to go to like France or whatever the first time. I remember PFL just being like, we're going to do that just a little before that. So, or it might have been.
You know what I really don't like about PFL, man, Tyler? That whoever's running their YouTube channel and the social media like Twitter and Instagram, they're absolutely doing a terrible job. I mean, it's like really, really, really bad. And they don't even they should probably do a press conference, like quick press conference every week. I don't know if they can do that. They probably don't have the funds to like do that every week. But if they can do something like that and maybe build some hype, I think that would probably be good for them. But I'm not sure if they even care about that.
Yeah. It's tough because like they're trying to balance this. Like we don't have the funds for that anymore because we've pissed it all away, and also like we still want to pretend that we're the co-leader or whatever. So it's tough for them to like really get into that. We got Steven in the chat. Said we did a good job last week. You know, it wasn't our finest performance, but we did okay. It was okay.
We did pretty good. I mean, we're coming up back-to-back winning betting cards for PFL, so I'm feeling pretty good about this card now.
Yeah, as far as predictions go for a PFL card, we didn't do as well as we do
historically, but it was still fine. Like, it was
predictions that are kind of hard, man. Like at this point, like I think I mentioned this last week too. It's just kind of like you can't worry about getting every pick right on the card.
Right.
As long as you give your confident predictions on the card, then they win. And you shouldn't be betting every single fight. I mean, first of all, like unless you're just like betting it for fun, you got to pick your spots. You got to like see which fights have value to be betting on, and that's been working out for me for the past couple of years. So
yeah, that's what I do. We'll find a few here so we can give out that parlay at the end of the stream. Of course, brought to you by Cloudbet. We'll give out that parlay, and we'll get you guys hopefully some cash in your pocket. But let's go ahead and jump into the first fight, shall we? We've got Rafael Xavier, I can't remember which, taking on Carl Albertson, and this is probably the craziest fight on the card to me as far as like their records go. But what are your thoughts on this one, Pickem?
I mean, like, I think you remember last time I did pick Albertson as like a plus 150 or plus 160 underdog. I can't remember what the exact number was, but I got kind of nervous, so I didn't place money on him. I didn't bet him like last fight because I was kind of worried about the chin. Obviously, we mentioned this in the last breakdown that he came back pretty quickly after getting knocked out brutally by I remember that guy who used to fight in LFA. Chuck Campbell, I hope I'm remembering his name properly right now.
Yep.
And like at one point, right, I think I mentioned this last time too. Albertson has a win over Nemkov. Like I know that was 10 years ago, but still probably one of the best wins you can have if you're a fighter in the PFL right now, or even in the UFC. I mean, Nemkov, I think he's got potential to be top 10 in the UFC at heavyweight, easily top 10 at heavyweight in the UFC. So even if it was a close fight, obviously 10 years ago, then recently, like he beat Yuxi Murdab, who hasn't lost a fight since losing to Albertson. So if you just go based off resume, who's got the better skill set, I do believe that Albertson is the better fighter, has the better skill set, has more ways to win this fight, has better cardio, has better experience, fought the better level of competition. But if you look as of recent, he's been taking so much damage, and you gotta take that those back-to-back KO losses. You gotta look at that also. And now he's making a quick turnaround again, and which I really don't like to see, right? Because Xavier, he's shown that he's got power. He's gonna go out there, look to finish you early. So I'm gonna have to lean towards Xavier. I'm still kind of like thinking if I want to place a bet on this fight, because if it goes like to the second, third round, I'm really not sure if I trust Xavier's cardio. Because he's only won 2 decisions out of like 8 or like 9 or 10 decisions. He's lost like 7 decisions, and he slows down massively later. But the fights start dragging on. But I think Xavier can find that chin early, and I'm not really sure Albertson can take more damage at this point.
Yeah, and so here's the deal. Like Dixon's saying, if you should put him in a parlay, we'll tell you that at the end. Don't you worry, Dixon. Just hang tight, watch the stream, enjoy yourself. Don't worry too much. Now, as far as this fight goes, Albertson has won 1 time in his last 5 fights, and it was over in like the lower level regional scene. It wasn't in the PFL, right? It was like Superior Challenge or something like that, I think it was called. His last fight was, not even 2 months ago, and he was knocked out by Powell. I want to say Xavier's last fight was also Powell, but that was a close split decision. Well, maybe not super close, but it was a split decision nonetheless. Yeah, I mean, MMA math doesn't necessarily work, but like I don't want to put any stock into a guy that's coming off of a knockout loss, not even 2 months ago. And then also when both of these guys' last fights are against the same guy, very comparable competition, I just can't get behind Albertson. Like, the guy has all the skills in the world, but he just can't seem to put it together. Albertson is the underdog right now at plus 124, and I think that makes that line makes a lot of sense to me. Minus 145 coming back on Xavier. I think that's kind of like a where it should be. I don't trust either guy like long term, but yeah, Xavier's the side for me. We can move on to the next one. This one is actually a lot more interesting, I think. We got Rodrigo Nascimento taking on Oleg Popov. What do you have for this fight?
Me and Nascimento, man, like we're hit or miss with Nascimento, because this guy just like he doesn't do enough to like. So if you're betting money on this guy, like you better hope like he's gonna do enough every single round to edge the round out, because he doesn't like separate enough. on like because most of his fights go the distance. Not really a proven finisher. Hasn't finished anyone since Dontel Mays, I believe, was like the first. They fought twice in the UFC, which I'm not really sure why they did. Why the UFC matched them up again, because the second fight was even worse than the first one. But like Nascimento, like came back, and he got signed to do the PFL, right? Because the UFC's like, we had enough of you, man. They cut him both. They cut him and Romanov, and that was their last fight in the UFC for Romanov, who's also fighting on this card. I think he might be the next fighter, the fight after. But yeah, Nascimento, he's actually got a black belt in BJJ, but he doesn't really use it as much. He doesn't really go out and wrestle. Like sometimes he wrestles, sometimes he doesn't wrestle at all, which is really, really weird. He did wrestle against Derek Lewis in the UFC. He was having success. I believe he was winning that fight by out wrestling Derek Lewis. Before Derek Lewis was he just chose to get back up to his feet like he normally does. Like I had enough of this. I'm just gonna get back up now. And then obviously got knocked out, right? Derek Lewis, getting knocked out by Derek Lewis. No shame in that. He was knocked out by Chris Dawkins. No shame in that. Those guys are good boxers, good strikers, have a lot of power. Obviously, Chris Dawkins doesn't have the chin anymore to keep fighting at the high level. But this one's gonna come down to like, is Nascimento gonna do enough? Like even last time, his last fight against Babley, I remember a lot of people were betting Babley, and that was probably the side, right? Because I think Babley was a side there. But he just kind of let this fight slip away in the later rounds. But that fight could have gone either way, man. That fight was so close. I took the over 2.5 rounds there because I knew like they're not going to finish each other. Nascimento is going to be okay, just kind of peppering you, just do enough to maybe have a chance to win by decision. And he's won by split decision, which happens a lot with Nascimento. This one, I think Popov is actually going to do more. Like, he actually goes out there, he wrestles, he's going to clinch you, he's going to, like, try to land some shots on you. He's also coming off a close win over, I believe, it was Carl Williams, who also made his PFL debut. They also cut him because they told him in his last UFC fight that, oh, we don't want you shooting takedowns anymore. Your style is too boring. He probably should have shot takedowns in that fight against Denise, because I think he would have won that fight if he shot takedowns earlier in the first rounds.
Yeah, he dominated the
third. Yeah, he did. Once he went for the takedowns, I mean, he got those takedowns easily, which I was like really frustrated because I had the third rounder decision prop on Williams. So I was like, I couldn't believe it. Like, just like last week with Mullins, not shooting takedowns at all. Like, as he shot takedowns once he's hurt. Like, that's sometimes you just can't make this up, man, with some of these fighters. Like, I don't know. I feel like some of them just throw their fight IQ out the window once they enter the cage. I feel like this one should go over 2.5 rounds. But I think Pop was going to do just a bit more every single round. He's going to be pressuring forward. I don't think Nascimento can knock him out. I'm gonna go Popov by decision, but I do like the over 2.5 rounds and more than the money line for Popov.
Wow. Yeah. If Dixon says that even Moicano is not picking his friend to win, that's rough. Yeah, I think Popov gets it done, to be honest. Like, don't get me wrong. Nascimento is good enough that he can compete with a lot of the guys in the PFL. Popov's like, he's pretty darn hard to compete with. Like, he's like a heavyweight that has decent heavyweight cardio. He knows what he's good at and he sticks to it. Doesn't care if it's boring. He has admittedly said that he doesn't really like hurting people, which is kind of a red flag for me, but it hasn't really been a problem for him. He just takes guys down and lays there and holds them there. And if they get back,
he rarely ever hurts anyone. I mean, anyway, so right. it's all right.
Well, yeah, because he doesn't do a lot in the ground and pound, right? And like, that's fine if you're gonna keep winning fights with it. So like, I'm not gonna complain about it, I guess, because he keeps cashing tickets for us. So yeah, I'll take Popov. I think him by decision is probably the best thing. But honestly, you might as well just play the dang money line at this point. He's minus 208. That's not bad at all. I think Popov's probably the side, and I feel like that's he's one of the clearer picks on the card, in my opinion. But next, we've got a matchup that is not as clear. Well, I mean, it's clear, but like, we don't have a lot to go off of. It's Biagio Ali Walsh taking on Ronnie Gibbs. What are your thoughts on this one? If there are,
I mean, this is a pretty straightforward layup for Muhammad Ali's grandson, Biagio Ali Walsh. I did watch some tape on this guy Gibbs. He's been competing in MMA for the past, I believe, 10 years. Hasn't really been staying consistent. Hasn't really been fighting often. And now I don't know where they found him exactly. I can't really tell you. Like, whoever his manager is, I mean, shout out to his manager for getting him this opportunity. And obviously they're bringing him in as a sacrificial lamb for Ali Walsh. And I think Ali Walsh has a takedown defense. And I've seen this guy Gibbs shoot takedowns out there. Like, his wrestling isn't that great. He can't really hold people down at the lowest level. Now he's making his PFL debut. Obviously, we know what the PFL wants here. What they want. They want Ali Walsh to go out there, get another highlight. He's going to do just that. And Ali Walsh training out of Extreme Couture. He's got a really solid training partners over there. And I see him finding that chin early, first round KO, under 1.5 rounds when they drop the totals. I'm going to look at the under.
Yeah, something so this Gibbs guy, so he's 1-0, right? But he's a featherweight that they've got moving up. But he's a local guy. He fights out, I assume he lives there, but he fights out of Illinois. They're in Illinois, makes sense. So I mean, they're probably just bringing in a local guy to fight Walsh. It makes sense. Yeah, do what Stevens is saying. But yeah. But yeah, so like this Gibbs guy, he doesn't seem bad if you just look at like his stuff, but he doesn't seem like this level. He seems like he's a decent regional prospect. Like, he's a decent regional fighter. Like, his amateur record's fine. You know, he won most of them, spread out over a long time. That's how it is on the amateurs. It's hard to find stuff. So, but I mean, he's not terrible. But I mean, like, I wouldn't be backing him. Like, shot in the dark, you might be able to hit something if you do that enough. But I think Walsh gets it done. Let's see.
Yeah, he's just not as flashy, right, as Ali Walsh, obviously, which is what I've seen from his tape. He does everything okay, though. He can wrestle. He'll shoot takedowns out there. He's got decent cardio, so he does bring in some skills to this fight. But I just don't see him having success getting those takedowns or like clinching Ali Walsh. And Ali Walsh has way better striking. He's been fighting in the PFL, even in the amateurs. They've been building him up slowly, every fight after fight.
Yeah, and for Dixon, hey, this isn't one to be a degenerate on, my friend. This is one that you just, like, you got a 2-0 and a 1-0 fighting each other. You just watch these, because when the line is
I don't bet on minus 1500s.
Yeah, you can't, even if you get, like, it's not worth it. Like, I'm seeing him right now minus 1250. Like, it's just, even if you try to play him as decision, it's not worth it. This one, you can pass on this one. There's other spots on the card. I think they're gonna drop the totals at 1.5 rounds, and I feel like if you can bend, if he does keep it standing early, he's gonna find that chin. Yeah. And Stevens, we appreciate you. You're always here. It's always a good time. We're always happy. We're always happy to see the folks in the chat. So thanks for being here, my friend. Let's move on to the next one. Obviously, that's supposed to be a setup fight. This fight is not a setup fight. This is a fun fight. Valentin Maldovski taking on Alexander Romanov. What are your thoughts on this one? I think this is probably one of the closer fights on the card.
Yeah, this one's tricky, man, because Valentin Maldovski, I don't think he won that last fight over Sergey's Belosny. I did have Belosny winning that fight. Even though I didn't bet on that fight, I was close to betting on Belosny at plus 150, I believe it was, before the fight. But I just stayed away because I'm just like, I really can't get a proper read on Valentin Maldovski. Sometimes he looks incredible. He's got decent striking. Went out there, knocked out Ante Delia, who recently got signed to the UFC, so that's a great win now, looking back on that. And obviously, we know Romanov, right? He got signed to UFC like a couple of years back, and he was probably like, I remember people saying this guy is a scary prospect. Heavyweight. And then we've seen that Juan Espino fighter. If you guys go back, run that Juan Espino fight tape back, because before that fight, he was running through everyone, smashing them, getting the first round finish. He went out there, beat De Lima, finished him by like a bulldog choke, I believe, or like some nasty choke in the first round, and that was highly impressive, right? Because De Lima is a black belt on the ground. You can't. People don't really do that to him. That forearm choke, that was very impressive. And he's got nasty ground and pound. Like, he throws those like straight fucking hammer fists down. If he can get on top of you, like he's absolutely dangerous in the first round. But he's also got decent kickboxing. Like, I feel like people don't really give him credit. To like, he's able to stay at range. He's kind of quick with his combinations. He can stay at range, kind of just pick you apart with his volume, what like he did over Nascimento in their last fight in the UFC. I mean, this one's tricky, man, because I do think Maldovski is not as bad. He can definitely win this one. I don't know if I just see him getting like ragdolled on the ground for round after round. first round's gonna be tricky though, because I do think Romanov takes him down, maybe hold him down a bit. But I don't know if I see him blocking in the submission as easy as he did over the other guy, right? What was his name? I can't remember. Let me see if I can remember his name now. His last fight over Tim Johnson, right? Tim Johnson is kind of like probably one of the biggest journeymans in the PFL. I mean, I like Tim Johnson. His fights are exciting, but he's not really supposed to be fighting these guys, in my opinion. But I think this one's going to be a tough fight, and I think Maldovski might have the better gas tank to keep it standing, just kind of do enough. But it's going to be really close, man, because Romanov has skills. He can take this fight to the mat. I feel like it goes over. I feel like this one can go over 2.5 rounds. I'm not sure, but like they haven't dropped the totals yet, so I don't know. Like I feel like they're going to drop the totals at 2.5 rounds for Maldovski, because he's pretty durable. He has been knocked out before by Vassell. I mean, Vassell is pretty damn, like, he's a good striker, even though he's like 40 years old. He's got power on the feet. He's got a lot of KOs in his career. And Romanov, if he's striking only, he's kind of just like okay with just kind of like picking you apart and just kind of like outpointing you. He's not really going to go out there like brawl with you. But his cardio, I can see Maldovski taking over second, third round. I'm going to go Maldovski on the scorecards.
Same.
But I don't know if I want to have action on him in this one.
I think it's going to be 29-28 Maldovski is what I think. Even because what I think we're going to get is obviously the first round, Romanov is going to come out and be just a monster of a human being. Maldovski's smaller for heavyweight. Like, he's a big guy, but he's small for a heavyweight, right? And kind of like Dixon says, I think he's going to struggle to, keep him off him, but I don't think he's going to death gas trying to do it. I think Romanov is going to death gas trying to keep him down. Maldovski's skilled, and I think his skill is going to outwork him in the later rounds as Romanov starts to tire out. So I'm going to take Maldovski. I don't feel confident in this whatsoever. I do think we get an over. Heavyweights just generally go over anyway. Like, for the most part, heavyweights go over.
Especially in PFL. I mean, even the UFC fights have been going over like crazy for the past couple of weeks. Last week, you only had 2. I believe it was only 2 KOs, right? Last week,
I think
2
so.
finishes.
Yeah,
we had like 7 decisions in a row, and I was like, I tweeted out, I was like, people love shitting on PFL, but look at this card.
Honestly, I enjoyed the card. I don't know. I don't remember it being boring. Maybe there's something wrong with me, because everybody's like, "Oh, this card sucks. This card sucks." And
I just like as a fan, like if I have money on a fight, then I don't care if it goes the distance or not. Like, as long as my bet cashes. But if I don't have money on it, then I want to see finishes. I don't want to just. I like seeing finishes a lot.
For that to find a fight.
The fights were pretty good. I mean, even the Mullins and Jeleznikova fight, the women's MMA fights were really good. So the fights weren't completely boring.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, yeah, that's where I was at with that. Before we jump into the main card here, if you want to watch PFL, the World Tournament, you can go to the Fight Center on Cloudbet. You can use the link in the description and use my promo code 138MMA, and your first MMA wager with Cloudbet is risk-free. The reason I bring this up is because you can actually watch PFL right there on the Cloudbet website. So you can literally be watching the broadcast and placing your bets on the same thing. It's a really nice feature. So if you are a PFL live bettor, it's kind of a no-brainer. But we can move on to the main card now, where we have Antonio Carlos Jr., a.k.a. Shoeface, taking on Simeon Powell, the guy who beat both of our first fight of the night guys in their last fights. So Simeon Powell taking on Antonio Carlos Jr., kicking off the main card. Who do you have, Pickem?
Yeah, this one's kind of hit or miss for me. Like, as having a lot of confidence on either guy. Obviously, this is a typical striker versus rapper matchup. Junior, he's fighting the UFC. He's got a positive record in the UFC. He wins over Marvitori, which is probably his most notable win. And he's also been doing really well. He won the tournament a couple of years back. I believe he won the $1 million, or maybe it was $500,000. So he's got a lot of experience. Obviously, Simeon Powell, he's working his way back, up slowly, fight after fight. Junior is gonna have better, more experience. He trains at American Top Team, which is really good. Those guys usually have really good game plans. We got a lot of guys training at training at American Top Team on this card. We got obviously we got Dalton Rosta training at American Top Team, who's fighting on the main card, I believe. We also got Nascimento training at American Top Team. We got Silvero training at American Top Team. So Junior also training on American Top Team. So there's a lot of these guys. They're all fighting on this card. My issue with the junior is that he can definitely, like, if he gets takedowns early and often, he can find a submission in the first, like, or second round. He's always live for submission. Like, his grappling is high level, and Powell, we haven't really seen him like get taken down or like have someone on his back. So we don't know if this guy's gonna fight hands if he gives up his back. Like, what is he gonna do? We haven't seen it. Like, I haven't seen it. I've been watching him fight. I did cash on Jacob Nadeau like as an underdog there a few years back because I really wasn't sold on Powell because he wasn't really knocking anyone. Like, he was close to going to close decision after decision, and even when he was fighting low level guys, so I wasn't really sold on Powell. But I feel like he's showing improvements at this point. Like, striking is getting better. He's feeling better, like more confident in his striking. He's taking more chances. And he's like, that elbow that he landed on Albertson was absolutely nasty, man. That elbow, like, that put Albertson like 10 feet under the ground. And so we know this guy's gonna have good gas tank. He's been dropped before. Even Xavier, who's opening up this card, dropped in the first round. So there's always questions on Powell. Like, I still think his chin's kind of suspect, but he has shown the ability to recover and keep fighting. Other than that Nadeau fight, Nadeau has a lot of power. We almost see Nadeau like absolutely separate Impact in that first round from consciousness. I settled on Powell like as a pick, but I think Powell can break him, like maybe even finish Junior, because Junior like gasses like crazy. Even in that last fight over Carl Moore, I believe. I did pick him as underdog there, but like I don't think I bet on him there because I was worried about the gas tank. And here I believe his slight underdog here. He's gonna be live for submission early if he can grapple early, in which he probably can. But I feel like Powell can work his way back up and maybe and he's gonna be far more dangerous. He's gonna have to reach Jimenez. He's gonna be throwing those kicks down the pipe, landing straight shots, and when Junior's gonna be tired. It's a lot tougher taking shots to the chin when you're tired. Like, it's different when you're like fresh. You still got a good gas tank. You're not like completely gassed out. When you're gassed out, we've seen this recently as a reason for Junior. Like, he's even in that Polizzi fight, he was so tired in that Polizzi fight. Even in that Moore fight, he was so tired in that Moore fight, diving for legs in the third round. So I feel like eventually someone's gonna like capitalize on that third round if it goes that far. And I think Powell can maybe be that guy. Even if he isn't, I think he can do enough damage on the feet. But I'm worried for Powell. I'm not really sure how good his wrestling is, how good his takedown defense is going to be, because we haven't seen him fight anyone that can grapple like Junior. So I guess we're going to find out in this one. I'm probably just going to stay away and see how good his takedown defense is going to look. Because Junior, he gets takedowns on almost everyone.
Yeah, I agree. I think that with this one, the line is, I mean, it's close for a reason, as it should be. Looking at Powell right now, about minus 150.
He's about minus 150, yeah.
Yeah. So for me, I think it might be recency bias to assume that if we're looking at what Dixon was saying here, he just knocks out him like he did Albertson.
Junior ain't Albertson.
Exactly. Could he knock him out? Yeah, he could. I don't think it's going to look the same because Powell's a guy who has all of the natural tools, right? He's got everything you could ask for. He's freakishly tall for the division. His wingspan is like absurd. Like, he's got like a gorilla like wingspan. You know what I mean? Like, the dude's got like super long arms. He has all the things you could need. His strikes, because he's such a lanky fighter, land with extreme force when extended all the way. So those long straight shots are just absolutely missiles. So there's a lot of things to like about him, but like, he hasn't shown the best. He hasn't had his best showings in the cage so far. Like, he's had some like you were saying, a lot of his fights were just going to close decisions and things like that. That's not what you expect from a guy that looks like he should be a top prospect, but he is starting to put it together. I think he can edge out a win here, but I would also worry that ACJ just gets him on the mat and does work on him for at least a whole round. And I could see him giving up a round because once he gets down, I worry that he's going to have a hard time getting back up. That said, I'm going to pick Powell to win. I don't feel confident in it whatsoever, and I think it's a pass fight. It's kind of like a let's see how he defends these takedowns kind of fight, and we can use that for information moving forward. Not every fight's a good bet fight. Some fights are better for just hanging out and watching and seeing what happens. So let's move on to the next one. We're both on Powell, but Obviously, both of us a little hesitant, shown some hesitancy. This is actually the closest fight on the card, in my opinion. Dalton Rosta taking on Aaron Jeffrey. This fight is a good fight. I know it's a rematch, and we already know who won the first one, but who do you think gets this rematch, and is it the same as last time?
I've been betting Rosta for the past like 4 fights. I bet him in the first fight at -180, so I got plus money on him this time, which I feel good about. I'm obviously going to bet him at plus money. I mean, I bet him the first time. I thought he's a better fighter. Obviously, the cardio let him down there. And he was kind of inexperienced back then. He's getting more experience in now. He's training at an American top team. I do think he's been looking better. He's been making better improvements. And Jeffrey's still the same fighter that he was 2 years ago. I don't think he's changed anything in his game. We know what he's good at, and that's landing shots in the clinch, staying busy. Brings a really good cardio into every fight. He's always in phenomenal shape. He's always going to have really good gas tank. So I'm still kind of worried for Rosta, but like it's a 50-50 fight in my opinion. And now the line's like basically Pickem, which it should be, right? The line should be Pickem. They opened, I believe they opened Rosta at like -130-ish or -120 on. So not obviously a lot of money came in Jeffrey. So I on Sunday, right? I do my tape study on Sunday, like later once I do tape study for UFC. That's when I tape PFL. That's normally when they drop the lines on Sundays. And I was like, Rosta, it's a rematch. And even like when he went out there beat Sadibasi, I believe we both had him there pretty confidently. And we also got plus money there on him. He was a slight Pickem like for the fight against Sadibasi. Obviously, Sadibasi has like really bad takedown defense. Like his takedown defense is like probably really bad. Like really, it's crazy because he trains at Extreme Couture, but his takedown defense is really bad. This one, I believe Rosta, if he can make some adjustments, he's going to be able to get taken down on Jeffrey. Jeffrey has shown that he can be taken on. Even in his last fight against Murad Ramazanov, I bet on Ramazanov there. I only had 2 bets on that card. I had Rosta over Sadibasi. I had Murad Ramazanov over, I believe it was Aaron Jeffrey, right? And that fight was really close. The mistake that Ramazanov made was that once he was getting those takedowns, he wasn't really doing anything with those takedowns, and Jeffrey kept getting back up to his feet over and over. And when he was back up to his feet, he was landing elbows, like landing kicks down the pipe. I think this fight's 50-50, man, and I like being on the Rosta side. I hope he's going to make adjustments here, and I think he can. I believe he can win 2 out of 3 rounds. I don't think he's finishing Jeffrey. If he does manage to finish him, I'm going to be really impressed. But I think it goes over 2.5 rounds. Like I feel like a lot of fights are going to go the distance on this card. This one's I feel good about the over 2.5 rounds. I think that's a really good safe parlay piece. But I like being on the Rosta side too.
Yeah, this is a close fight in my estimation. For me, yeah, it's kind of, has Rosta made the adjustments he needs to win this one? Because the last fight, I mean, it was close, it was competitive, but it was clearly for Jeffrey in that one. I want to say that he has. I think Rosta has. I think he's shown that he's leveling up, and I want to pick him here. But I also know that like there's something to it in the mental side of things, that you've already lost to this guy once. There is that sliver of doubt if things start to go the other way. If you start to like end up in a bad spot, I don't know how Rosta's brain works. Only he knows how this works. So I don't know to what level of, oh shoot, I've already lost to this guy once, things are going the wrong way now. Does that kick in for him? I don't know. So for me, it's another like kind of watch and see kind of fight, but I'm going to take Rosta. Right now he's -114, I believe, against the -104 for Jeffrey. Close fight with the line, obviously. Close fight on paper. The first fight was close. It's just who's done enough, or who's changed their game enough, and it has Rosta improved enough to get the win this time out. I'll say he has. I can't be sure about it. We got some people jumping in the chat that are just tuning in. We got MMA clips. It's always good to see you, my brother. We got
He's been absolutely killing it, bro. MMA clips absolutely killing it right now for the past couple weeks.
Dude, he keeps posting these win and slips all the time. I'm like, man, we got to be starting to listen to you,
man. He's on
fire. McMuffin, what's up, McMuffin? It's always good to see you. And another fantastic channel member, McPooperton. Dude, it has been a while since you caught a live stream. I'm so glad that you're here. It's always good to see you, McPooperton. Thank you for tuning in. It's always nice when you grace us with your presence, and it's always funny to like seriously say Mick Pooperton and like say it with like a serious cadence. So that's always a good time. But yeah, we're both on Rosta. Interesting.
I think it goes over. I think the over is like the safer play over 2.5 rounds because they're not opening the over at 1.5 rounds. I can guarantee you that right now. It's going to be 2.5 rounds, and I think the over is going to be like -200.
I think fight goes is even fine. Sounds like Grimy killed it last weekend too.
Yeah, he did also. We had a really good week on the live stream too, right? I'm live every single card for PFL, and we did really well.
That's awesome. Yeah, so there you go. Hopefully you guys can kill it again this week. And if you do, make sure you're using CloudBet. You can watch it right there on the website. Yeah. So the next fight here we've got this is a solid one too. Like, there's so many good fights on this card. Like this is a stacked PFL card. Sergio Pettis taking on Rafion Stots. Absolute barn burner of a fight. Who do you have in this fight?
I'm gonna take the underdog shot on Sergio Pettis, man. I've taken it before over Pitbull. Obviously, Pitbull was cutting down 135. He shouldn't have cut down to 135 because they severely impacted his cardio and they couldn't really match him in the speed. This one's gonna be tough though because Rafion Stots, he wasn't looking good in that last fight, obviously, and against Marcos Breno, who was like landing a power shot after power shot. And he has to like kind of wait till he got tired. Then he was able to capitalize, find that submission. This one's, I think the striking is close, man. Even in Pettis' last fight, I watched that Ryzen fight. He rematched Kyoji Hiraguchi, who's signed to the UFC now, I believe, and he was supposed to take on Taguer Oldenbekov on the last UFC card. I don't know why he ended up pulling out there, but he did drop him. He did drop Kyoji Hiraguchi in that third round. He just couldn't defend takedowns, right? Obviously, Kyoji Hiraguchi, probably one of the better overall complete fighters at the lower weight class across any MMA organization. I think Pettis still has one more win. I think he can pull it off, man. I haven't bet him yet. Like, I'm still like thinking, I want to watch the wins. I want to see what kind of shape he's in, but I think he can do it, man. I really think he can do it. I think he at plus 175 or plus, I think it was a plus 200. When I did my breakdown, I was looking at that line and I was like, should I maybe sprinkle like half unit on him? Because I think he definitely has a chance. I think Pettis by decision's like pretty good value prop here. And I'm going to pick Pettis, but I think Stots, he can definitely like win. I've taken Stots before over as an underdog over that gangster. What's his name? That gangster. I think his nickname's Danny Sabatello. I took him both times in that fight because I knew his striking was going to be so much better than Sabatello. And I've done pretty well in Stots fights. I didn't bet him last time because he was like -800. He didn't look -800 in that fight up until that submission in the third round. And I think Pettis can pull it off by like a close decision. I would feel better about Pettis if this was 5 rounds. This being only 3 rounds kind of like is keeping me away from placing a bet just yet. But I think Pettis is not a bad underdog at these odds.
I agree he's not a bad underdog, but I'm definitely going to take Stots. And the reason why, like Stots, well, first off, Stots has been my most profitable Bellator PFL fighter ever. Like I've cashed so many tickets on this guy. He made me a bag against Danny Sabatello both times, so that's fantastic. I do think he's going to be able to get the wrestling going, though. And I think if he gets the wrestling going, I think he can control a guy like Pettis. For Stots, he's just got to watch out and not get knocked out, basically. Like if you watch the even the first Horiguchi fight for Pettis, dude's losing that fight until he lands that spinning back fist, which is, I mean, that's if you're talking about a Hail Mary shot, that's what that is. And so, I mean, Horiguchi's beating him up with the grappling there. We've seen it before. Pettis can get grappled, and I think Stots can do that if he can just get a hold of him before getting knocked out, and I think he will. I'm going to take Stots. I think he's got a pretty good shot at getting this one done. Yeah, he's a big favorite, but I don't know. I don't think it's too far off. -227 isn't crazy, and money's coming in on Pettis, so I think that's I think the line's going my way. I'm going to take Stots. I could see why someone's on Pettis though. Is this our first one we're split on? Or are we split on?
I think this might be the first one.
Because I think we picked the same. Okay, so we've got one fight we're split on so far. We can move on to the co-main event, and I feel like it's pretty obvious who's going to win this one, at least by my estimations. But the record might have you thinking otherwise. We got Phil Davis taking on Sullivan Colley. Who do you have in this fight?
Yeah, Davis should win, man. I was trying to fade him with Wilkinson because I was like, he's coming back after a 2-year layoff. We haven't seen him in a long time, and he doesn't have a lot of KO power. I mentioned all those things, and then he goes out there, knocks him out in the first round. Very impressive, right? He wasn't looking good in the first minute because he had some ring rust after that layoff. But once he found his timing, he landed over end right. It was over for Wilkinson. Wilkinson's probably like, I think Wilkinson's like one of the best kickboxers in PFL as of right now. So to do that to Wilkinson and not even have to like take him down or like or grapple him or like, because if he told me he's gonna go out there like he knocked him out, I'd be like, okay, he probably took him down, beat him up on the ground, because that's normally his game, right? That's normally how he goes out there and finishes the people, because he just kind of out wrestles you, and he's got a really good gas tank behind him. And you can see after the wins, like you can see like he was in tremendous shape because he looked incredible. Like whoever his doctor is, I might need to get his contact. Like whatever vitamins he's on is working. Phil Davis, he should win this one. Sullivan Colley, I think he was supposed to fight another guy before they changed the matchup last time for Sullivan Colley. He ended up fighting Polizzi on that card. Because I did bet him. Let me see who it was against. Remember, I already forgot who he was supposed to fight, but that fight got canceled. It was Marcelo Nunes, right? Marcelo Nunes up at heavyweight, and now then they changed the matchup. I'm not really sure why they did, but then he ended up fighting Polizzi, and he was like minus 140, and Polizzi just looked kind of lost out there. I don't even know what he was trying to do. And he took a lot of elbows to the back of the head, and he couldn't really the referee just don't. I've noticed this a lot in the PFL. The referees you might as well just pretend like they're not even there. They don't do anything. Like if anything goes wrong in the cage, the referees, they're not gonna be there to help you. And I do think Polizzi got kind of done dirty by the PFL and the referees in that fight. But Colley's a good striker. He's fast. He's quick. He's definitely one of the better striker prospects in the PFL that's been fighting in the tournament this year. And I don't think he can knock Phil Davis out. I really don't. And he's gonna have to do that too. And he's gonna have to defend takedowns. He's gonna have to deal with the pressure. And we just seen Phil Davis at 40 years old go out there, probably get the best win that he has, or not in terms of the name, in terms of how he did it, right? Knocking out Wilkinson like that after a layoff. Give me to Phil Davis. I think he can finish him later. I think he can take him down, beat him up on the ground. Even if he doesn't finish him, he's gonna win that decision. I think Davis is a pretty good pick here.
Yeah, I'm leaning decision, but pretty dominantly. He went to a close split with Corey Anderson. It was kind of a while ago now, but as far as how many fights back it was. The only reason it was a while ago is because PFL doesn't usually book their higher profile guys. But yeah, I think Phil Davis is the side all day. Don't get me wrong, Colley's good. He's young. He's an athletic specimen. He could do well there. But Phil Davis is competing at the highest level still at the age of 40, and he doesn't look like he's really slowing down. The dude looked just as good as he did in his fight prior, So I think Phil Davis is a side easily. And we can move right into the main event. We don't need to beat the dead horse there. Fabian Edwards, Josh Silveira is our main event. I think this is, matchmaking wise, the record's the exact same. So that's something. What do you have in this one? Who's the side?
Yeah, I think Fabian, even at minus 600, he's going to win the fight overall, outright. I'm just not sure, if he does, is he going to be the first to knock him out, which I'm not really too sure about. I don't think he can. Let me not say that. I don't think he can. He probably could if he finds a perfect shot, because Silveira's as hittable as it come. He doesn't really move his head at all. He's just going to walk straight at you. That's all he's going to do is going to be pressuring Fabian. And Fabian's going to be able to cut angles, he's going to have the much better footwork in this fight. And I think he can win this fight going backwards. He can win this fight going forward, pressuring Silveira if he wants to. But I feel like he's going to be on the back foot, just kind of peppering him with those low kicks, body kicks. And he knows how to deal with pressure. We've seen him deal with the pressure against Aaron Jeffrey really well. And even though I believe had the over 2.5 rounds, and I was kind of worried for Jeffrey because he was lighting him up with those knees on those kicks. The line is a bit wide, but I can understand why it is, because he's the much more skilled striker, and his wrestling, takedown defense, he can be taken on, but only some of the better guys at this weight class have taken him down recently. Johnny Eblin. Even in the rematch, Johnny Eblin couldn't really take him on as much as he did in the first fight. Because so he has been, I'm sure he's been working on that takedown defense. Well, Severo is going to be looking to like take him down, hold him down. If this was 5 rounds, I'd probably give Severo a chance. So I think he would have more time to work with. Maybe get a takedown for like in a couple of rounds and like control him. I don't think he could submit him. I don't think he can submit him. Honestly, I don't. So he's gonna have to like take him down, beat him up on the ground, or hold him down for the entire round, and I don't think he can. Which is why the line's -600. I think he wins, and he wins by decision more often than not. But he could be live for a KO, man. He can land something crazy like his brother did over Usman, like the high kick, because he's definitely he strikes really similar to his brother Leon. So he's gonna be fine. He's gonna be able to find some homes for those high kicks, because Severo just kind of like he doesn't really have the greatest footwork.
Yeah. So the only problem is the line, honestly. Minus like 455 or whatever it was. See, yeah, minus 455. It's a little wide to really do much with on this card for my like based on what I'm seeing. But other than that, I feel like Edwards is probably the side. I think he's going to be a better shot. I don't think he knocks him out. I do think it goes. I think it goes the distance. I think Edwards is able to land the better shot. Silveira's going to eat him like he normally does. He'll probably have some success in moments, but I think Fabian Edwards is going to land like cleaner, better shots, land more shots, all that stuff. I feel like it's going to be a pretty clear Edwards decision. But yeah, I mean, realistically, if there's anybody that could just break you by eating shots and just keep coming, and at least in the PFL, it's probably Silveira. So, dude's got a block for a head, but I'm gonna go Edwards.
I feel like at some point he's gonna get knocked out. Maybe it's not this time. Maybe it's gonna happen soon.
He's still pretty young. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think
it's gonna happen soon. I feel like he's gonna get put out bad.
Yeah, he's 32.
Maybe the next couple fights.
I think he's got a few more in him. I guess the fact that they do fight so often could make it add up quicker. So you might be right about that actually when I think about it like that. But realistically, yeah, I'm gonna say Edwards probably gets it done by decision. But yeah, either way, we can jump into a parlay, and so we'll do 2. We're gonna do the one that's gonna get us close to plus 100, and then we'll do one that's gonna get us over plus 500. And I actually want to throw out a suggestion for you for the plus 100 parlay. I'm thinking we go Phil Davis and Oleg Popov because that gets us right to plus 110. What do you think?
Yeah, I like that. I think that's the safe parlay. What is that? Plus 110. I like that one.
Perfect. 1 second here. I'll put it in the chat. Plus Davis. Plus 10.
Jones is running from Gaziev. Exactly, bro. He's definitely not running for Aspinall. Did you hear that he got arrested again, bro? Like, this guy just can't stay out of trouble.
Well, so he got arrested back in like February, but now the court stuff's coming up. So that's whatever. It's kind of stupid, but he's the worst. And Dixon, don't you worry. I don't know if we'll get to plus 1,000 on this card, but maybe we will. We're gonna start throwing together a little.
I wish you had the totals. If you had the totals, I'd probably give you like a really good parlay. But Dixon, bro, if you don't know, like I drop like picks on Mike. There's a link in my on my channel. You can find free bets on there. Like if you want to tail. We've been doing really well for PFL, like ROI is like 21%. So I don't like sometimes I'm like, why do I even bet the UFC at this point? I should be only betting PFL and LFA. They're a lot easier to bet on than like UFC.
Okay. Yeah, and a link to Pickem's channel is in the description. So if you aren't already following him,
I think that parlay is gonna cash. So I do like that parlay, but I might just take the over. Like I think Papa money line is really good. Also the over. If you can same game parlay those two, Pop up and the over. I think that's also really good. But Davis and Popov, yeah.
But yeah, so for me, that's our safer one. Do you want to keep those 2 in for the big parlay, or do you want to?
Yeah, let's keep those in there.
Okay, let's. Okay, what do we got? Let's see. We've got.
Let's put Rosta in there. You want to put Rosta in there? We're gonna have to put him in there for some good odds.
We might have to. Let's table that one for now. Let's think on it for a minute.
Xavier, let's do Xavier. I think Xavier is gonna have that early success, finding that chin, knocking him out.
Let's do it. He's minus
plus 1,000. We're gonna have to put these guys in there because if you put it like Biagio Walsh, well, you might get like plus 120.
Let's get to 500, and then we'll see.
All right, let's do plus 500.
If we go
Rosta's gonna be sweaty, but I think it's like a long shot. It's worth it. Or take the over if you can find the over in that fight in your book. Take the over. Yeah, it's not gonna be as sweaty.
if we go with the first two plus Xavier, we're already a plus 255. Let's see where we can get, and then we'll see about adding Rosta after that. But let's see if we can get to 500 without adding Rosta, because that does make me nervous. Like, he already lost to this guy once, so it's not like he can't lose.
Let's do Xavier. I think we're gonna have to go Xavier.
If Xavier's in, yep. So with him, we get to plus 255 with Xavier.
We need one more leg. We need one more leg.
We got Xavier, and then Popov, and then Davis. What if we go? Oh boy, there's not a lot of fights. There's only 9 fights.
Yeah, it's only 9 fights. So we're not gonna get anywhere if we put Edwards in there. It's not gonna get us anywhere.
Yeah, because let's see, minus 455.
We're gonna have to put Rosta in there. I think Rosta. We're both picking Rosta.
Okay, we'll
he
put
could
Rosta
win. I believe in Rosta.
You're right. So minus 1.
I should be plus. What is that? Oh.
Plus 567. Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so we'll put it up. So take the.
I only play mostly. I only play 2-leg parlays. Like, if you guys want to long-term success for parlays, I think it's 2 legs. The first one's safer, a lot safer. Once you add 5 legs, 6 legs, you can hit those. I had a 16-leg parlay end of last year. But there, it's yeah, obviously you one of those legs. If they maybe you can do those round robins, right? Those are probably the way to go for long legs.
Dixon's down here just why don't you just parlay the whole card? Dixon, I tell you what, if you just parlay all the legs that we lined up on, so all of them except for the Stots and Pettis fight, that probably gets you a decent parlay. But yeah, I mean, other than that, there's just not much to work with. Maldovski makes me nervous. I think he probably went.
Yeah, that one makes me nervous too. If he was underdog, I would definitely play him as underdog here.
But not at minus 167, and that's the best line available, which you can of course get on.
But the judges they seem to love Maldovski, man. Because I don't think he won that Sergey fight. But they just gave it to him because Sergey was minus. I believe he was minus 800 at the end.
Yeah. I don't know about that. I don't know. It was a bad decision. I had a bet on Ballistini, but so maybe I'm just biased. But I thought he.
No, that was a side for sure. He doubled him up on striking numbers in the first rounds. Then he kind of lost third round because he got clinched up and all that. But yeah, it was really, really weird.
Yeah, and so if you guys, we got 9 fights to work with here. So if you want a crazy parlay, just parlay everything we agree on, and then you get your crazy one. But realistically, I think the 2 we put out.
Yeah, 2 legs. Those 2 parlays are solid.
Yeah, I don't see anybody that's there's no real safe ones to add.
I usually wait till the weigh-ins to parlay. That's what by then you get the totals too. You can parlay the totals and the money lines. I like seeing the weigh-ins before I do the parlays. Even last week I watched the weigh-ins.
All the fights that are going to fall off probably have already fallen off.
We haven't had a lot of cancellations. I mean, on this card, we're supposed to see Newman, right? Newman, I was really excited for that. When I looked at this card, a week back, I was we're gonna get Jordan Newman, and he was supposed to fight another Russian. And I was gonna pick him. I was definitely gonna pick him. At this point, man, he's what Newman's is showing. He's definitely one of the better prospects in the PFL right now, and it kind of sucks that we're not gonna get to see him on this card.
Yeah. Well, so the problem is we don't have the methods.
Yeah.
Available. They're just not. There's no props.
Sometimes they drop them. Sometimes they don't drop them. So, they should probably drop them by on DraftKings. They normally drop them by Thursday night.
Who finishes? Oof.
I think Xavier KO. I think Ali Walsh KO. I think Powell could be live for a KO, but that could very well go the distance. Carlos hasn't been knocked out in so long, but his cardio scares me. So I think that third round late KO prop for Powell could be live. And I think
I feel good about a finish.
Yeah,
maybe Walsh. I could see
Ali Walsh. I think Walsh finishes in Xavier.
That's it. I mean, other than that, I see a lot of decisions. I think we're good.
And now, with no point system, right? They don't even have to finish fights anymore. It doesn't matter. We used to see a lot of finishes in the tournament, back a few years before they took the point system away.
Yeah, I'm thinking we get overs all the way. Honestly, for all of them except for maybe 2 fights. Even then, honestly, if they give us a minus or a 1.5 at a minus 120 or something for Walsh, the over is not even bad. It's not like he's finished everybody early.
That's true, but I don't know. He's gonna take this guy longer than 70 minutes. If he doesn't get taken on, held down, I do think those straight shots is gonna land on this guy. It's gonna be brutal.
That first pro fight went to decision, so. Let's see. How's that guy doing now? Oh, he's 1-4. So he went to decision with a guy that's now 1-4.
Is he really? Let me see. He's gotten better. I mean, he's getting better, right? He's only got how many fights now?
I mean,
So he's got some amateur career,
fights, but that was literally 2 fights ago. Like that was his first pro fight. He's only had 2 of them. So
has he been finished? Like, okay, he has been finished though. After that,
yeah. Well, both of my submission.
A submission. Still. Okay, that makes kind of sense. I mean, he hasn't been KO'd, so maybe this guy, like, where's he out of?
Argentina.
He said Argentina. Those guys are known for their chins. Like, we got all those guys. I mean, Ribowicz. I mean, all these other guys. Like I mean, we also got Eileen Perez.
This dude's
how good is Eileen Perez, though, right? How good is Eileen Perez?
So, okay, but this dude that he took to decision has gone on to lose to a guy by rear naked choke that was 0-1 going into the fight, and then he loses again by armbar to a guy who was 1-2 going into the fight, and then loses a decision to an 0-0 guy. Like, I'm not saying, I mean, maybe these guys turn out to be something good.
A lot of these Argentinians, they can't even really wrestle.
Right. Yeah. So I'm not saying Walsh can't finish him early. I'm just saying I wouldn't be that confident in it, to be honest. Like,
yo, that Kevin Lee, man. Honestly, his manager is actually Ali, right? Ali, that's his manager. He manages Rabadanov and he manages Kevin Lee. So like he kind of set that up for like Kevin Lee to like end up as a highlight for Rabadanov. This is really fucking crazy.
The guy he's fighting's never been knocked out. I don't know, even as an amateur.
I think he's super hittable. I've watched tape on this guy, and it's not, you can't really find a lot of tape on but it's like tape you can find on YouTube. He kind of just like doesn't have the greatest footwork.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying like I'm not gonna take Gibbs. I'm not gonna bet on Gibbs, but like if you give me plus money on an over 1.5, I will be tempted. I'm not saying it's gonna hit. I will be tempted.
I mean, maybe it could go over. You never know. This guy might have a really good chin.
I mean, Ollie Walsh has had 2 pro fights. 50% of them have gone over 1.5. In fact, 50% of them have gone to decision. So, you know, like it makes it tough. It makes it tough not to. Because the second fight he ended in like 50 seconds.
Alvarez. Can you read this? Can you read the Alvarez? What he said?
Oh yeah, let's see. Let's pull it up here. Once again, jeez, that's crazy. I don't know anything about this,
that's
but
fucking weird.
Good on you. Man, I kind of feel bad for Angelo at this point. Like,
you know what I don't like about Angelo? Like, he kind of hates some people using topology. I don't know what his beef with people using topology is, bro. Like he's making all this money from those members. Like, bro, not everyone's making like 30K a month from like, and obviously you're gonna have people, you can pay people to make your graphics, right, and all that. Like, that's the only thing I like. He just kind of like, I don't know. He might not be that like that in person. He might be a really chill dude, right? I feel like just the internet, sometimes people are trolling you, kind of makes you like become kind of like different.
Yeah, he used to like talk smack on my marker board, so like I didn't like him for a long time. I mean he's still kind of as obnoxious.
I think Jacob's actually pretty chill. I kind of get along with Jacob, but Angelo just seems like
I'm sure he's fine, but he kind of just like comes off as like a man child. I don't know. I'm sure he's fine. They're nice enough guys, I'm sure, but like I don't know. They on one of their live streams back in the day, they were ripping on the marker board. So I had a little beef with them, but I've given up on my beef with them. They can do their thing. It sounds like Angelo's had a rough time though. Like dude's on like that prediction tracker guy.
He doesn't even do his recaps. Like he's got to do his recaps, bro. Like for selling picks, you got to do recaps. He never does recaps. If you're on a
10-card losing streak, you're not going to give a recap. Like it's
you know what he does. I'll tell you what he does. Right, I've noticed this about Angelo. Like every time he has a losing week, he only talks about those other guys that work for him. He'll talk about their winning week that week. Like it's really fucking like sneaky. But to their own.
According to that prediction tracker guy, Angelo's on like a 10-week losing streak. So I don't know. But that guy also like just says if you bet the money line on every fight that you picked, which is obviously not accurate, but at the same time, like, dude, that's rough. So I don't know. I'm sure they're fine. I'm sure they're fine dudes. I don't know. But we started off on the wrong foot. So I don't think we're going to be for a while. Speaking of feet, I mean, that's actually really funny. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I ain't mad about that. Like, if somebody would pay to see mine, I'd say, I don't care. I don't know. Either way, we can wrap this sucker up. That's pretty funny. But with the parlays, I think the first one's the only one that's feeling pretty good. But Pickem, tell everybody what you got coming up the rest of this week. Tell them where they can find your stuff, and then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, you guys can find me this Friday. I will be live for this entire card. We're live every week for PFL UFC, so we have a lot of fun on the live streams. We cash bets on the live stream. We lose money sometimes on some fights, which happens not that often, right, for PFL. Yeah. But I feel pretty good about this card. I think we're going to have another winning card for PFL. We're coming off back-to-back winning cards. We're up like 3 units on the last card, and even Kamedov should have won. What do you think about the Kamedov-Magomedov fight? Do you think Magomedov won? I know you picked Magomedov, so you might have a bias 3. But I can understand why they gave it to Magomedov, right? Because he kind of like the crowd was booing him. The ref like they had to like break him apart. So just based on optics, I think he lost that fight. But Kamedov looked incredible, man. Him able to wrestle him like that, take his back standing up. I'm still high on Kamedov. I think he's gonna be able to bounce back soon.
Yeah, I think it was a close fight. I could see it going to either guy.
Yeah, I remember like it was over. It was a 2 overs in the co-main because over in the co-main it was only like -125. I was nervous like betting the over in the co-main because I was like Liz Kermouche like she's like her striking was so much better than Dana.
Oh,
but
sure.
yeah.
So it sounds like, guys, if you want to make some money, go ahead and check out Pickem's Fight Companion this coming up Friday for the PFL. And if you want to use that link right there in the chat.
Yeah, guys, check out CloudBet. They're really good servers. You can also watch fights on there for free. You don't have to pay for a subscription. Like I pay for subscriptions every month to watch PFL.
Mm-hmm. And you can watch it right there. So, and it's like not even a big deal. So that's actually super awesome. But anyway, folks, we're going to wrap it up. We will catch you all down the road. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate all of you, and I will see you next time.
All right.